Yo, what's up, guys? It's Zen here to bring you Astarotte toy episode 3. Is it episode 3? I believe it's, or maybe it's 4. I don't even know. That's what I get for not double checking things. I believe it's okay. It's 4. My bad. Sorry, episode 4. I'm sorry. I fucked up. It's okay. Let's just go into our basic summary. The majority of this episode, I'm just gonna say right now, there's a lot of liberties taken, and there are a couple scenes that get cut out, and I'm so glad because you gotta remember, as I've said before, the whole school thing, them being in school doesn't happen until way later in the series, but there is a party, but the party is for the rival girl that we see in this episode that Lottet's messing with, bragging about Naya being in her harem. That was the original purpose of the party was for her. In the manga, in the anime, it's like this parent teacher student thing. The scene that I thought was really cringeworthy they took out, and I'm so glad they took out, was a scene where Naya and her had to share a bed in the girl's mansion, and but she's a vampire, so she was like spying on them while turning it into a bat, and the scene was pretty much her telling Naya to pretend to have sex with her, so she wouldn't get found out. And luckily they didn't do that scene, because I swear to God, this anime isn't as bad as people think it is based on the premise, but that scene would have ruined it personally. That scene would have ruined it. I'm so glad they skipped that. But they kind of took this whole mother-daughter approach. And in the end of the episode, we do get the hint of what I was referring to in the last episode about the reason why I would never think now you will ever hook up with Lottet on some type of sexual reference. Yeah. The whole mother thing? Yeah. Yeah. You know how she said that Lottet's mother smells like mommy? Yeah, there's truth behind that. I'm not going to explain it all to you, but yeah. Yeah, that's about it. It's not the same in the manga. And I wonder if they're going to do the next episode like they do that particular scene, because I'm not going to explain it, but let's just say Naya has to do something in order to re-meet this woman, because I'm pretty sure she's going to like leave the room at the end of the episode. But for the people who haven't watched the episode, I guess I'll explain a brief summary. It's like they do the whole... Lottet and her mom don't have a good relationship, and she wants to give her the invitation because Asaha keeps bugging the shit out of her about it. Which I've just grown to like Asaha even more. Like, she's just a fucking cool daughter, period. And so eventually it makes it where Lottet ends up having to go to her mom's to give her the invitation. But she overhears her mom talking to the priest ministers, and the ministers are talking about how annoying her daughter showing up is, because her mom wanted to take like a few minutes to go talk to her daughter, so she left without saying anything to her mom. But she left the invitation in the room, so her mom got the invitation indirectly. And so at the party, she's waiting for her mom to get there, and her mom doesn't get there, but doesn't get there in time actually, because her mom does eventually get there, but she gets there after everyone leaves, and it's kind of a little sad moment. And then the sadness continues, because when she gets home, Naya comes up there to comfort her, and realizes, and she tells him that she didn't even give him the fucking invitation. She starts crying even harder. It's actually a really emotional scene, I'm not gonna lie. I thought they handled that pretty well, even though none of that's in the manga. That's all like implied. All that is just anime-esque, which explains why it's so basic, because we've seen this in like American shows and movies multiple times, so it wasn't anything that shocking. And her mom felt bad. So mom actually decided to say, let me go watch my daughter sleep, even if I can't do anything right now. So she goes all the way over to her daughter's house. Apparently this is after Naya is finished comforting Lottet, and she smells something really familiar. And at the beginning of the episode, there was a reference to Asaha's like little clover thing that her mom gave her when she was little. And Judith was like, was that made here? Because that looks really familiar. She smells something familiar, ends up going into Naya and Asaha's room. And Asaha wakes up and he's like, wait a minute, are you... And then they do like this weird flashback where you see Asaha and then you see a younger version of Asaha. And it's like, what the fuck? And then Naya wakes up and it's like, wait a minute, yeah. And it's like, holy shit. And then they end the episode. So that whole mother thing, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have guessed this much, but yeah, that is true. Asaha's mom, it happens to be Lotet's mom. So indirectly, you could say Lotet's mom is the one who raped Nalia. There's a little bit more to it, but that's pretty much the general consensus you can get from this episode. I mean, I'm just gonna straight up and tell you that much because that's pretty much what actually happens. That is true. That I don't know if the anime is gonna take any liberties with the backstory. There's not that much they can take a liberty with, or they may take a liberty with some things, but yeah. In the manga, she raped Nalia. Pretty much, I don't know. They don't. The manga didn't even go into that in depth. They just straight out says it. Plus this whole situation that happens with her visiting the mansion in the manga, it wasn't Lotsa that visited her mom first. It was her mom who occasionally checks up on her daughter. And in the manga, she checks up on her daughter, and you can see like the fucked up relationship they have. But it happened to be that Nalia and Asaha weren't around during that time she was there at the mansion, so they never saw each other. But I believe as they were leaving, they caught a glimpse of each other, and Nalia got really curious. So in the manga, what happens? I'm not gonna spoil it because it may still happen in the anime, and you guys are gonna laugh. But yeah, as far as that goes, the name of this review is just Mom. I will say this though, and in the manga and the anime, her mom is hot, and I can fucking say that because she's a mom, she's hot. Period. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just fucking throwing it out there. But yeah, that's pretty much episode 4 in a nutshell. I'm not really minding the liberties because I think like the liberties are helping. They're helping the show better because the people are gonna prefer the show to the manga just because the manga's way more. The manga is a little bit more raw. Like there's not even any real fan service in this show episode. The two biggest fan service things would be the eye catcher, which I thought was a little ridiculous. And I do not like that the princess's nightgown. Like, Lotet's nightgown does not seem like something appropriate for a 10-year-old. I understand it's nightwear, but that still doesn't seem right for a 10-year-old. That's just me, though. Like, it's way too revealing for a 10-year-old nightgown. That's just weird. Pajamas, weird. You couldn't just wear normal PJs. Even Nadia's daughter looks like she's in normal PJs. Why does she wear such a revealing outfit as a nightgown? It's what the fuck? I mean, it could be some succubus bullshit, but no, I don't like that fucking nightgown. But there's not really there's really no fan service in this episode. Just the stupid nightgown scenes, which isn't really fan service. It's just her wearing a nightgown. I call it fan service because that's just way too much for a nightgown. And the eye catcher, which threw me off because I didn't expect the eye catcher to be that fucking ridiculous. That's just me though. But tell me what you guys thought about this episode. How did you feel about the realization of mothers and stuff? And I'm looking forward to seeing people's reaction to this. But anyways, she wants to see. The thing is, you can't like go from the end of the review to like that phrase. Like I can do that with One Piece and Naruto. Like I'm gonna be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be the next Hokage. But it's like with this show, it's like she wants your life seed. You can't just go into that as an ending. But yeah, she wants your life seed. Yes. End of the review, guys. Tell me what you thought in the comments section below. Life's a game. Let it win. And do you think Lotet's mom is hot? I'll catch you guys later.